Hey everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing the new LEGO Star Wars AT-TE Walker. This retailed for $140 and it has 1,082 pieces. First we'll look at the side build, then we'll look at the AT-TE, and then finally we'll do the figures. I don't remember exactly what this droid is called in Star Wars. I think it's a spider droid, if I remember right. I think these were mainly seen on Geonosis. And this is a pretty good build. I think there are also large versions too in Star Wars. It also came with this transparent cylinder piece, so you can just put it all the way down, and that way it can rest on this rather than the legs. I don't know why they would do this, because this isn't a heavy build, and so it's not going to wear out these clip pieces, but I guess they just wanted to give you one, because it really has to squat low to even sit on one of these. I like this design. It has a lot of posability with all the joints. You can stand it up really high, and then of course the gun actually rotates, and then you can move the eye with the gun if you want to, but that's why they included this second joint right here, I'm pretty sure, so the eyes can stay stationary and you can still move the turret. Also, it has this nice antenna piece on top. That's pretty cool. I like that. Overall, this is a pretty good side build. I wish they could have included two, since this is a $140 set. I feel like they could have added probably another one of these, and I don't think they would have had to raise the price, because it only has 1,082 pieces, so I think they could have included at least one more. The first thing I really want to say about this is it's not that gappy. Really, the only light you can see through is right there if you're at a low angle, and you might can see some, or actually you can't really around the front. So it's closed up nicely, and if you remember some of the recent AT-TEs, this is a very good build. I'm very satisfied with it. Of course, if you want something that you can actually pose the legs, this is not the set to get. You can pose the middle leg, but these legs you can't really do much with, the front and back legs. But that's fine to me. This isn't really a toy that you're probably going to be marching around. It's kind of seen as a tank, at least in my opinion. And so, I mean, realistically, these would probably have treads, but it's a cool futuristic thing to have a tank with legs. So I really like the concept and everything. And this is a very impressive build. It's actually super stable, which I wasn't sure how stable it was going to be. I know LEGO is very good at making stuff like this extremely stable, though. So I was very happy with seeing the thought process behind the build. And it was an enjoyable build. The legs were the least enjoyable part because it was pretty repetitive, but the leg design does not take that long to build. So I'll go ahead and open up the back so you can see the first bit of space. So there are two main rooms, one back here and then one right there, and then the cockpit, of course. But this is the biggest of those rooms. You can even adjust these panels, and you can fit probably 6 figures if you just are really conscious of the space and take all the guns out of their hands. You can stand one up right here. So you could actually fit all of the figures in this set right in this room, I'm pretty sure. You might also have to take this gun rack out. But there's a lot of space, surprisingly. I wasn't sure how much space was going to be in this set, and I'm happy with just this room alone, but it's nice that we have another room in this set. But yeah, there's all 5, and then if you had another clone, you could put them right there, and then it'll close up just like that. So that's nice that you can fit all of them in just one of the rooms. I think that's pretty cool. And as I pointed out, there's this gun rack. You can't put the long rifles on there, though, because they'll interfere with the ceiling. You can put the short ones, of course. And it comes out very easily. It's just attached by 2 studs, of course. And it goes either here or there. And then they have this crate, and I actually don't remember. Oh, yeah, there's binoculars in there. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen these in white yet, so that's a cool piece to have in white. And that one just goes right here also. They have the all-important fire extinguisher in there, and then they have a control panel, if you can see that right there, for these back guns. And they have a silver coffee cup right there. That's pretty cool. So this back room is pretty good. It's decently spacious for this build. Now we'll move to the center room. This one is a little harder to get into because the gun and the carrying handle kind of interfere. But luckily, you can just take it out. There's a spot for 2 figures and a wrench, as you can see. And then there's a stand right here with thermals that you can put in there. This part is pretty hard to get to, though. So that is one slight drawback, but at least we get a big area in the back. But that's really all the angles I can get. It's hard to get a good angle in there because it's kind of tight. And then the front cockpit just pulls out. That's really cool. And you're intended to put this figure, he's called a 12/12 clone gunner. That's what they say on the box, at least. But he's just kind of the pilot of the set, and you can just slide him in there and he fits in nicely. I like all the guns on this set. There's 4 up front, not counting the big gun, then 2 in the back, and then of course the swiveling gun up here. This, I would assume, is probably an anti-aircraft gun, I would assume. I'm not sure on that, though, and I'm sure these are for just anti-personnel and probably smaller vehicles, too. I really like the detailing around the sides. They did include a few stickers. There's 4 big stickers on each of these big panels just to add detailing. My least favorite stickers of this set, of course, are the ones that are on these big curved pieces. I don't remember what those are called. And then they give us 2 of these car hoods in gray. Those also have big stickers on them too. All of the consoles in this set, minus the one in here, are prints, so that's nice. I really like this print too. That's a pre-existing one, of course. It's been around for probably 3 years now. That's just a very nice control panel. This gun, of course, can be angled in all directions, which that's nice. I doubt there'd be a point where he's ever aiming it that far down. And of course, it has 2 of the new stud shooters. You can shoot those off and get them lost if you want to. These new stud shooters are way better than the old ones. For one thing, they look cooler and they fire way farther too. I was very surprised when I fired them off recently when I first got this set. I didn't think they were going to go as far as they did. I think it's a good redesign. I'm glad they made new ones of those. For one thing, the design looks a little bit more sleek, and also it shoots farther, so it has a dual purpose. There's not really anything else to show you on the ATTE. I'm very satisfied with the build, and like I said, of course, the legs can't be posed that much, but it can be either a display piece or just a troop carrier, and it doesn't really have to be posed that well. In my opinion, I think it's already a really good set, and it's closed up very nicely. And of course, it has a carry handle like all of these big sets, and that's nicely integrated. I think that's not egregious at all. In the recent gunship, its handle is in a bad spot, and it's pretty obvious. So I was glad that this set has a good handle. So now let's move on to the figures. Here are the droids. They included 3 of them in this set, all with this gunmetal gray blaster. I like this blaster piece, and I'm glad they've been giving it to all the droids in this gunmetal gray color rather than the black. These are, of course, the pre-existing droids that we've gotten since the dawn of time. This is such an iconic piece at this point, and I'm glad to see that they haven't changed the design. And these are all exactly the same. Nothing on the back, all with the same guns. And so, there's not really much else to point out on these guys, so let's move to the clones. These are the 2 12th clones. They're under Obi-Wan's command. I really think all of these figures look good. I'm glad that they gave us 3 standard ground troops. All of these have the same printing front and back, and they all have the same heads. The guns, of course, are the only difference. I really like these long rifles that they've been including in some of the recent Star Wars battle packs and standard sets. I think they look really cool. Then here's the gunner. I like all of his printing. He's, of course, different than the other figures on the front and back, and they gave him a new helmet. I really like all of the battle damage too. I think it looks really cool. And they gave him a pistol since he's mostly going to be in the ATTE. Then we have Commander Cody. He, of course, has a different torso printing and back printing. And his head is different than the other clones as well. He has a little bit more of a hardened face. They included, like I said earlier, extra visor pieces and some of these too, so you can put the accessories on the other clones. But the only one they really show with an accessory is Commander Cody, and so that's how I left it for this review. Also, he has a different helmet too, which is pretty cool. I do wish they would have included a pauldron piece for his shoulder and maybe one of those skirts that they give some of the captains and commanders. But at least they gave him some different printing so you can differentiate him between the other clones. Yeah, but that's the clone forces. So my overall thoughts are positive. I like this ATTE a lot. I hope one day LEGO will be able to make an ATTE that can accommodate even more figures and that the legs are a little bit more posable. I don't mind the legs not being posable, but I know some people do, and for some people that might be a deal breaker and they might not even get the set. So I am warning, if you're really into posing, really there's not much more you can do with the ATTE without modification besides this. Like, you can move the leg forward a little and back a little, but that's pretty much all. And of course adjusts all of the turrets, but that's really all. If you're looking just to put this on a shelf and not really worry about posing it at all, it's a perfect set. And that it includes 5 figures, that's a good deal, I think. And the droids, of course, you can get those pretty much anywhere, so including 3. I mean, it's nice to have 3 extra, but you're not getting this set for the droids. You're getting it for this and for the new 212 figures. So overall, with the figures included, this is a good set, of course. The ATT could use very minimal work to make it even better, but it's already a good set, and I don't think LEGO messed up anywhere. I do think they could have included maybe 100 extra pieces for some extra detailing and maybe an extra build for the droids. But overall, I give this set probably a B+. It's a good set, but of course any set pretty much has things that it could do better. And as always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos.